Hello everyone, this is Saul, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the vegetables. First of all, I have to apologize for not having the usual, dog shit intro. I don't have access to the shitty Windows editor anymore, so I can't make them. It's really quite sad. But let's start out with artichoke. I feel like artichoke is good in the spin dip, and basically serves no other purpose, so put it in B tier. Arugula. This is just kind of like C tier spinach, is how I would describe it. Yeah, it's about right. It's like inferior spinach, inferior kale, but it's still like decent. I mean, it tastes decent in a salad, so I'm not gonna put it too low. Asparagus. I'm gonna put asparagus above artichoke. I feel like it's nice. Like grilled asparagus is tasty, but it's not a very versatile vegetable. There's not too much you can put it in, and because of its like toughness and strong taste, it would probably overwhelm a lot of food that you would try and put asparagus in, and it's kind of best on its own grilled. But it does taste pretty good. Avocado is an easy S tier. That shit's delicious. It makes a lot of food delicious. It's got like something that's rare for vegetables, which is like a creamy texture. Highly approved. Beets. I'm gonna put beets in low B. I think if cooked right, they are very good. But most of the time, beets are cooked and served. They're not cooked right. They're steamed, and steamed beets are horrendous. Steamed beets, boiled beets. It's also another crop where it's like you really have to cook it for so long, in like a soup or something, at a high temperature or something, in order to get it to like be edible. Otherwise, it's just so bad. Bell peppers, F tier, horrible, disgusting. They're so bad. Broccoli, I'm gonna put in A tier. It's good. It's just a good vegetable. It tastes good in pasta. It tastes good in like a stir fry or something. It tastes good just steamed with cheese. It is just a solid vegetable. The stalk also is good in salad if you cut it up. And so don't waste that if you buy like a crown of broccoli. You can just cut up the stalk later and use it on a salad. And it tastes just fine. Brussels sprouts are F tier. It's really rare to have a vegetable where every single way you cook it, it still tastes like absolute dog shit. And I feel like Brussels sprouts is one of the two on the list that are like that. Even bell peppers are sometimes redeemable if you cook it right. Like if you stuff them in particular ways, you can get over the fact that you're stuffing a bell pepper instead of stuffing something better. But yeah, butternut squash, B tier maybe. Yeah. I mean it's fine. It's decent. It's just nothing special. Yeah, just nothing special really. Cabbage, I'm going to put in A tier. I feel like raw cabbage is kind of hideous, which is why I don't want to put it in S, because it's eaten raw a lot in like salads and stuff. But cooked cabbage or like fermented cabbage is fucking incredible. Absolutely insane crop. I love it in soup. I love it like in Asian food. I love it in like kimchi or sauerkraut. Just good shit. Carrots I'm gonna put in D tier. I feel like they usually detract from whatever they're put in, with the sole exception of soups and stews, where they add a lot of flavor to the soup, and then you can just remove and throw them out later. But other than that, they just don't really taste very good. They don't taste very good. They're tough to eat. There's just no real reason why you would eat carrots. Cauliflower, I'll put in C tier. It's kind of like a worse version of cabbage, and also a worse version of broccoli. That's generally just how I would describe it. There's not too many redeeming qualities, but it's definitely not bad enough to be paired with these guys. Celery, easy S tier, fucking delicious. Insane texture, which is like all crunchy and like tastes really good. It's like you're crunch, chomping. It's good shit. And the taste is also really good. It's strong, and also has the risk of overpowering stuff, but I feel like it's not too much of an issue if you just don't put in too much of celery. And it's also very versatile. It works in salads. It works in like soups or stews. It can be cooked in like various other ways, and it also works nice as a side to a lot of food. So I feel like it's pretty easily S tier. Corn, I'm gonna put A. I'm gonna put it below broccoli. I like sweet corn. I like a ton of food like curries with corn. It's just good. It's just a solid vegetable. I don't think there's really much bad that can be said about it, but it just doesn't make it into S tier. It's not like quite that good. And it also doesn't really compare to like a broccoli or something. Cucumber, I'm gonna put in D tier. I'll put it above carrots, because with like vinegar, they taste good, or in like a tzatziki or something. But most of the time, you're eating cucumber, you're eating raw cucumber, in like a salad or something. And raw cucumber is like it's so bad. It's just so bad. I can't stand that shit. Edamame. B tier. It's decent. There's not really too much to say about it. It's got kind of a muted taste, and nothing about it really stands out very much. Eggplant is S tier. It would make it all the way to the top, with the exception of a couple vegetables that will come later. But it's just so good. It's super versatile, and the thing is, it tastes so good that it's absolutely worth the amount of effort that you have to put in to cook it in a lot of cases. If that comes in like time to cook it in slow cooking or baking it, or like just the multiple processes of cooking it to get it fried, or salting it to get it, especially like the Chinese eggplant edible. It's the end result is so good that it's absolutely worth all that effort, and is easily like the best tasting vegetable for like the centerpiece of a dish. There are some vegetables I like more, but those are always like those are never the primary flavor of a food item. Whereas the eggplant, when it is in a food item, usually is that primary flavor, and it does that job really well. Garlic, easy S tier. I don't think I need to defend this placement. Ginger, S tier, good shit. It's the only issue I can think of with ginger is that if you put too much of it, then everything just tastes like ginger, and you can't taste anything else. But I feel like that's just an issue of preparation and not of the vegetable itself. Jalapenos, I'll put them at A tier. I wish they were spicier, but they're good as is. They're tasty, and they taste good stuffed as well, which is fun. Kale, I'll put kale in B tier, probably above asparagus. It's tasty. It tastes good in a salad. I've never actually had cooked or fried kale, even though I know those exist. So I would like to have that, and then maybe that'll change my opinion on it. But I think it's pretty decent. Leeks are good. Again, I don't have leeks too often, but whenever I've had them, I can't say I've ever been disappointed. In fact, I've always been like, oh, I should cook with these more, and then I never do. But they're good. They're tasty, yummy. Lettuce, I'll put it like middle of B tier. It's just kind of tasteless. It is a good carrier of salad dressing, so it's nice in salads for that reason. But other than that, it's barely a vegetable. Mushrooms are not a vegetable. I don't know why this is in the vegetable tier list. Mushrooms are fungi. They're not a fucking plant. Okra, F tier. Actually, I'll put them in D tier because you can fry them and they taste good. And that is like a league above these guys. So yeah, onion. Like if there was a tier, I should have made it just a tier for onions, like an O tier just for onions. Onions are built different. I think I would genuinely kill myself if onions stopped existing in the world. Like I don't think there's any purpose in a life without onions. That is really all I need to say about them. Peas, I made a pea tier for the peas. This is one of two plants that will never enter my mouth in any way, shape, or form. If there are peas in a food item, I will not eat it. But the worst part about peas is that, at least if it's something like a Brussels sprout or something, okay, you can just take it out to the side and eat the rest of the food. If there is a pea in a food item, the entire food item tastes like fucking peas. And I just want to like commit horrendous war crimes on whoever decided to put this in any sort of food item at all. I feel like restaurants should get shut down for including a menu item with peas, and possibly a city should be nuked for every serving something with peas in it. Potatoes. I'll put it low B tier. I feel like they're really bad on their own. I don't like potatoes. I don't like boiled or mashed potatoes in most cases. But I feel like potatoes are a great thing to put in like soups or something to thicken it, or to add that like starchiness. And they're also really good in a lot of other various food items, just to use as like an ingredient and a component, and in that regard, B tier. Pumpkin is an easy A. It's just so tasty. It's not S because you can't do just pumpkin in the way that you can do all of these others except for ginger, and ginger is special. I feel like ginger really should be considered a spice and not a vegetable, but that's an aside. But I could eat any of these raw, or have a meal with any of these being the dominant flavor, and I will not be disappointed. Whereas I feel like with pumpkin, it always has to be accompanied by other flavors. Like I feel like a pumpkin pie is largely sugar and cinnamon with a bit of pumpkin, and that pumpkin really more defines the texture than the taste of the pumpkin pie. We make a pumpkin sabzi, but that's more onion than pumpkin, frankly. There is like various things with pumpkin. Like pumpkin spice shit. But that is, again, pumpkin's not really the defining flavor. It's just a component of that flavor. And I think because of that, I can't really put it in S tier. Radish is a fairly easy S tier. Fucking delicious. Like one of the top cultivars for sure. They taste great in a salad. They taste great cooked. They really like. The bitterness of a radish is so different from any other form of bitterness, and I feel like it's a great taste to just explore. Red onion is like a better white onion. Both of those are the same, but red onions are just stronger, therefore they're better. Scallions are just like budget onions, and so same reason. Also S tier. Spinach, I will put at the top of A tier, above cabbage. It is good in salad. It is great to cook. It's also really fun to cook because you put in so much spinach and then it cooks down to like 1% or like 10% of the volume of the spinach that you put in. But yeah, that aside, it tastes good. It can be cooked in so many different ways. It can be added to so many different types of food. It's just a solid vegetable. I don't think it's S tier, just because the taste of it alone isn't really that great. Like it's fine in a salad. I would say it's probably like the best salad green out of the lot, but it's nothing incredible. Like say an avocado or onion is when eaten raw. Sweet potatoes, I'll put it low A tier. It's like, what if potatoes were better? That's really all I have to say. Tomatoes. Again, I'm gonna put this above eggplant. I feel like if I had the choice between a eggplant like centered dish and a tomato centered dish, I would take the eggplant one every time. But also, when you think about it, like 90% of the time you cook eggplants, you're also cooking tomatoes with it. And then if you think about it a bit more, like 90% of the food items you make outside of like Asian cuisine has tomatoes in it. And they're, as far as I know, one of like the main ways to get umami taste in a lot of like non-Asian food. And because of that, because they're like kind of like the defining factor for a whole taste group in a lot of the cuisines in the world, I feel like it definitely is an S tier food. And they're also good, like just raw, or in a salad, or like cherry tomatoes or whatever. It's just a really good vegetable. And definitely like the onion, garlic, tomato groups are going to it's just built different. I think S tier is getting a bit overloaded, so I'll move ginger and I'll move ginger down to A. Turnip, C tier. It's not very good. Doesn't taste very good. It doesn't really do much. Zucchini. This really is like God saying, "Oh, I messed up. Sorry about cucumbers. Here, have something that looks just like it, but is better." Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. If you disagree with my tier list, I advise you to change your opinion. You don't have to, but it is my advice. You'll enjoy life a lot better if your opinion's the same as mine. Goodbye.